Chris here from Videomaker. Today, we're diving deep into the Panasonic LUMIX GH7, a camera that's redefining what you should expect for $2,000. The GH7 is loaded with features that'll make you wonder why you even considered spending more on a larger sensor camera. If you've been settling for less in image quality, dynamic range, or low light performance because you believe only a large sensor camera can deliver, this camera is about to change your mind. Despite its micro Four Thirds size, it packs a powerful 25.2 megapixel sensor, supports 10-bit color, and offers internal ProRes RAW capture. This isn't just another camera, it's a serious tool built to empower filmmakers, content creators, and videographers who want top-tier performance without the addition of a hefty price tag for expensive lenses. In this review, we're not just skimming the surface, we're going to break down what makes this camera special, feature by feature. From the nitty-gritty details like sensor specs and color depth to real-world performance in challenging shooting environments. We cover it all. Let's start with the 25.2 megapixel BSI CMOS Micro Four Thirds sensor. If you're unfamiliar with this jargon, let's break it down. BSI stands for backside illuminated, a design that improves the sensor's ability to gather light by placing the wiring behind the photosensitive elements. The result is cleaner, more detailed images, especially in low light conditions. CMOS refers to the sensor technology known for its fast readout speeds and efficient power usage. Finally, Micro Four Thirds describes the sensor size and the lens mount. What does this mean in practice? It means that whenever you're shooting in daylight or in a dimly lit environment, you're going to get a crisp, clear image with detail and minimal noise. This will save you time in post-production because the footage already looks good straight out of the camera. The sensor's design isn't just about delivering high-quality images, it's also about versatility. The Micro Four Thirds format allows for a more compact body that doesn't overheat. This is perfect for filmmakers and content creators who need to stay mobile without sacrificing image quality. Plus, lenses for Micro Four Thirds cameras are more affordable than those for larger sensors. Now, let's talk about its 10-bit recording. With 10-bit, you get billions of colors, over millions when shooting in 8-bit. This means smoother transitions, richer gradations, and a lot more flexibility when it comes to color grading. You won't have to worry about banding or other artifacts that can ruin the quality of your final product. Why does this matter? When you're working on professional projects, whether a commercial, a music video, or even high-end YouTube production, every detail counts. But here's where the camera pulls ahead of the competition: internal ProRes RAW capture. To get ProRes RAW from other cameras, you'd need an external recorder to capture it. This adds bulk and complexity to your setup. The GH7, however, lets you record ProRes RAW directly to its memory card. Why is this a big deal? ProRes RAW gives you the flexibility of RAW, like adjusting exposure, white balance, and color with minimal degradation, while keeping your workflow fast and efficient. Performance is where this camera shines. Let's start with the frame rates. 5.7K at 60 frames per second, 4K at 120 frames per second, and 240 frames per second in HD. Higher frames per second means smoother motion, which is especially important if you're planning to do any slow motion work. With these options, you've got all the flexibility you need to capture everything from fast-paced action to dramatic slow motion sequences. Just remember your shutter speed should always be double the frame rate, otherwise your slow-mo will look shuttery. Let's break down what that means for your work. Shooting in 5.7K at 60 frames per second gives high resolution and slow motion, perfect for capturing intricate details in scenes with a lot of movement. Slowing 60 frames per second to 24 frames per second gives you a 2.5 times slow-mo, which is perfect for cinematic slow motion. On the other hand, 4K at 120 frames per second is a sweet spot for times when the subject matter is moving faster. At 120 frames per second, slowed to 24 frames per second, you get 5 times slow-mo. So 1 second captured equals 5 seconds when played back. When we talk about image stabilization, we're not just talking about reducing a bit of camera shake. The dual IS 7.5 stop 5-axis stabilizer in this camera is quite impressive. Dual IS means both the camera via its sensor and the lens are working together to keep your shot steady. 5-axis means it compensates for movement in 5 directions: left, right, up, down, forward, backward, and rotation around the lens. The 7.5 stop refers to the extent of shake compensation. Think of this as your safety net when shooting in less than ideal conditions. Now onto the autofocus. The GH7's autofocus system is designed to track subjects with precision, even in challenging conditions. This is an improvement over the GH6. During our tests, we found that it excels at tracking human subjects, locking onto their faces and bodies with ease, even when they're moving quickly. This is critical for filmmakers who shoot on the go where there's no time to fiddle with manual focus. The camera takes care of it, so you can focus on getting the shot. When it comes to tracking cars, it performs great, especially in side-to-side tracking. We were even able to pull off a smooth rack focus from a static vehicle to a moving one. What does this mean for you? It means that you can trust this camera to handle the focus so that you can focus on your creativity. Whether you're filming a fast-paced chase scene, capturing a dynamic dance performance, or simply shooting a vlog on the move, the autofocus system ensures that your subjects are always in sharp focus, no matter how fast or unpredictable the action is. Higher ISO settings allow you to shoot in darker environments. The camera's ability to manage noise at these levels is impressive, ensuring your image remains sharp and detailed. We saw noise starting at ISO 1600 and pushed it to ISO 6400. Above that, the noise begins to color shift. When it comes to dynamic range, the camera delivers. It captures a broad range of tones, preserving detail in both the shadows and highlights, which is crucial for high-contrast scenes. The GH7 has 9 stops of dynamic range in standard color, which is acceptable. For those who need more flexibility, the dynamic boost option pushes it to 10 stops. With V-Log, Panasonic's logarithmic gamma curve allows you to get up to 14 stops. V-Log is a feature designed for professional filmmakers who need to capture a wider range of brightness levels and have maximum flexibility in post-production. If you're working alongside ARRI cameras, this camera support for ARRI Log C3 makes it easier to match your footage, which is a huge plus for multi-camera shoots. Now on to the downsides. The camera can record 32-bit float audio, an advanced format that captures a wide range of sound levels without distortion. However, it requires an additional investment in the Panasonic DMW XLR2 XLR microphone adapter, which costs around $490. While this isn't a deal breaker, it's an additional cost you need to consider if top-tier audio quality is a priority to you. While we're talking about usability, the button layout could use some work. The placement of the audio info button is less than ideal, often leading to accidental presses that can interrupt your workflow. It's a small annoyance, but in a high-pressure shoot, it's something you'll want to be aware of. Although we like the ability to upgrade to be able to shoot ARRI Log C3 so it can be graded alongside ARRI cameras, it comes with a $200 price tag for the firmware update. If you don't plan on mixing your footage with ARRI footage, it's an unnecessary upgrade as it doesn't change performance at all. Finally, there's the menu design. It's not terrible, but it's not intuitive either. The settings are scattered across different sections and can take some time to find what you're looking for, especially if you're new to the system. Customization helps, but there's a learning curve that might frustrate some users, particularly those that need to make quick adjustments on the fly. Now let's take a look at other cameras that are similar in price and feature set. The first to look at is the Sony FX30. It features a slightly larger 26-megapixel Super 35 sensor compared to the 25.2-megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor of the GH7. Price-wise, the FX30 is more affordable at $1,800 compared to the GH7 at $2,000. Another option is the Fujifilm X-T5. With its 40-megapixel APS-C sensor, it's slightly larger but with many more pixels. However, its fastest frame rate in 4K is only 60 frames per second. The X-T5 is also more compact and lighter, and it's more affordable at just $1,700. Next up is the Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema Camera 6K G2. With its Super 35mm sensor, it can capture up to 6K at 60 frames per second in Blackmagic RAW and ProRes 422 internally. Price-wise, the Blackmagic 6K G2 is the same price as the GH7 at $2,000. So, where do we land on this camera? It's a serious contender for sure. For $2,000, you're getting a camera that delivers features typically reserved for much pricier models. The 25.2-megapixel sensor, robust stabilization, and advanced recording options like 10-bit color and internal ProRes make it a standout choice for filmmakers and content creators who demand high quality without the high price. But remember, it's not perfect. The additional cost for hardware or firmware to obtain certain features like 32-bit float audio and the less than ideal button layout and menu design are worth considering. However, these are minor inconveniences compared to the overall value and performance this camera offers. If you're an independent filmmaker, a YouTuber looking to boost your production quality, or a professional videographer in need of a reliable, versatile tool, this camera should be on the top of your list. It's more than just specs on a page. It's a camera that performs where it counts in real-world shooting scenarios. If you're after high-quality video, advanced stabilization, and flexibility of ProRes RAW, this camera is a no-brainer. Whether you're capturing a high-stakes documentary, producing content for a demanding client, this camera delivers on all fronts.